recording and our YouTube live stream. All right, so this is the April 20th, 2022 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. My name is David Sturkey. I'm the Zoning Hearing Examiner for the State of Cincinnati, and I'll preside over this hearing. The case number before us today is case numbers are ZH20220032-35, and 0035. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. If there were anyone here from the public, they would then have an opportunity to present after the applicant had presented its case. In the event, I will give the zoning department an opportunity to provide any testimony that they would like to add. In the event any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to an application, the applicant shall have an opportunity to rebut that testimony and or argument. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions and make any comments. I may also refuse to consider hearsay testimony. That's generally evidence you want to introduce that consists of statements made by someone who's not present at the hearing. In the event of any technical difficulties with the Zoom, I will do my best to troubleshoot those on the fly, but to the extent there's some defect that prevents us from meaningfully going forward with the hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. Okay, let's get everyone sworn in and we can get started. Take yourself off mute. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So yeah, Brooke, sorry. So tell me a little bit more about these projects. Are they a series of buildings or?
Yeah, so they used to be the prototype buildings, and now the ownership company is the Oberding Corporation. So they've been in these buildings forever. They're just rebranding. So we're removing signs that were either approved through variance or in a different spot and putting up new signs in different spots. So okay. We're removing and putting up new.
Gotcha. So why don't we just start with, let's just do this numerically based on the case number.
Yeah.
Let's start with 32 and just walk me through the relief for each one, the requested relief for each one, and then we can move on to the next.
Okay. This first one is, I think this one's, this is location and numerical variance. So this is the original sign. And so it sits the way the building is faced on the street frontage is in front of city-owned trees and a bus stop. So to put a sign over here, you wouldn't be able to see it. So they're requesting that we put the sign over the main entrance.
Which is in the parking lot?
Which is in the parking lot. Yeah. So the building is faced on the parcel. This is probably a better picture. So the sign will go on this wall over the front. So it'll be over the main entrance of the building.
Got it.
And it's just because it doesn't have street frontage, the way the building is placed. So that's where that variance is. And then I also think, I don't think it's too big. I just think it's the location of where it's sitting because they can't, since they don't have street frontage on that part of the wall.
Is that right? Is it just location? I see location and numerical.
And the number of signs, yeah.
Okay.
Because they can't have the sign in general, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the size of the sign is 55 square feet, which is allowable if it was on that one wall. But because we want to put it on the other wall.
And since they're not allowed to have any there, it would be a numerical variance too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So basically they just want the door. They want the sign above the main entrance, which still gives people the right amount of time to see the sign to turn left to go into the parking lot. So it should help traffic a little bit.
So is it a different company than the G company?
No, they're just, the G stands for gravity. They have different, from what I understand, they're like a printing company. And so they have all these buildings all over the place that do different parts of the printing job. And so some of them are where they just have like manufacturing, and then this one I think is an office building. So it used to be called Gravity, and now they're just rebranding it as the Oberling brand family.
Got it. I think I approved the G a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think because it also doesn't have street frontage. So
Right. And so the G is okay.
the G's coming down.
Oh, the G's coming down.
Yeah. The only sign that'll be on the building is the Oberling family building
Got it.
signs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're just shifting it basically.
Okay. All right. Walt, Emily, anything on this one?
They're all pretty straightforward today, which is nice.
Sure. Sorry, I wasn't looking. Was that a no, Walt? Okay.
I think we're really just here for questions.
If there's any
These
questions you have.
These are pretty straightforward variances, replacing similar signs. It's the location, which is justified being on a busy street and for visibility.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks. All right. Let's move on. Unless there's anything else you want to say about that, Brooke?
No, that's just no. It's pretty
right.
easy.
Cool. Let's go to 33.
Yeah. Oh, and did John Jennings ever give you the list of the 3 things from me from our same day review from last October?
So this one is on Gilbert as well.
Oh, that's
And we're taking down this phototype one and replacing it with overlay one. So same location, just, I believe this one is because because it also doesn't have the street frontage, and so then they have to do location and numerical because it's not on the Gilbert side, it's again in the parking lot. But when you're driving down towards it, if you won't see it if it's on the side where the street frontage is. You won't see the sign. And I guess there are 2 on this one. We are putting a sign on the outside wall as well. So there'll be one on this side, and then there's also the one on the parking lot side.
Gotcha. So that's the street side.
This is the street side, yeah.
Okay.
And then there's the one on the inside.
Is there an existing street side sign?
There's not an existing street side sign that I know of. I drove by it yesterday and I didn't see one. So each of these signs are 55 square feet, and the street side is 775 width. So I still think that we're under the allotted amount that they're allowed to have with the 2 signs.
Gotcha. Okay. So the street sign is permitted by right then, I'm assuming, zoning?
That is correct. And their total square footage is within the allowable for the street frontage. So that's why you have a locational and numerical variance.
For the one in the parking lot.
Correct.
Gotcha. Well, why do you need 2 on this one?
I think it's mainly for visibility because you can come into this one in either direction. So depending on the direction that you're coming up the street, and it's a taller building. So I just think it's more for just visibility coming from all directions.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because it's in that weird, it's that weird on Gilbert, there's spots where you can turn and there's spots where you can't. And so I think this is one of the ones that has a turning lane. So I think it'll help eliminate a little bit of traffic where people can see what they're doing.
Okay. And are these externally or internally illuminated?
They are internal. All of the signs are internally illuminated.
Okay. Anything else on this one?
No, I'm sorry. I was just reading to make sure I was telling you everything. No.
Building.
Okay. Want to move on to 34?
Yeah. Yes, sorry, I was just reading something. I wanted to make sure I was telling you the right thing about the right sign. 34 is on Florence. This one, the original sign is right here on this oddly shaped building. So you can't, when you're coming down Florence, there's not really, it's on a curve, so you can't see it till you're basically on top of it. So we're removing that sign and putting in the same overlaying sign in the same place. But again, there's no street frontage on that side, and you can't see it from the street frontage side. You have to have it on an angle. And it's the same thing where it's the numerical.
Okay, just the one sign on this property?
Yeah.
And with this and with the last one, those were also internally illuminated?
Yeah, I'll be glad to.
Yeah, it's saying, I want to confirm that really fast, because now that I'm looking at it,
The last four digits are 8935.
they're calling them non-illuminated reverse channel letters, but then the next page has LED modules. So I think that, oh, you know what it is? The overlaying part of it is illuminated, but then underneath it, it says brand family, and that part's not illuminated. But the main sign is internally illuminated on all of
Gotcha.
them.
And the ones that it's replacing are also internally
Illuminated.
illuminated?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a white halo illumination, it states.
Okay,
And none of them are facing, I know that some of this, I don't think any of this faces any sort of residential. I think it's all commercial or vacant lots. Or the street.
gotcha. Well, yeah, that was sort of my concern with 33. I know that there's residential nearby.
Across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't be bright enough that you could even see it. It shouldn't bother anybody.
Okay, here we go.
Because it's across 4 lanes of traffic in a median, I think is the residential.
Right. And I think it's set back
Yeah.
from the street. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not. Okay. All right. Anything else on 34?
Okay.
No, it's, again, they're all pretty much the same thing, just signs where there's no street frontage.
That sounds good. So now,
Yeah, and that sign, the original sign was there in 2008, I believe. And this is pretty much a like for like, but a sign face change because of the name change wouldn't be appropriate.
Got it. Okay.
I think that's a lot of them, right? Well, like most of them, if we were keeping the name, it'd be probably a bit easier, but because they're changing the name.
Yeah, if you were just swapping out the sign, changing colors, we could approve it at staff level.
Yeah.
Because, well, except for the additional one that you're putting up on Gilbert.
Great.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, all right. Okay. 35.
35. So 35 is also on Gilbert Ave. It's a little bit further east. There is not an existing sign on this building right now. So they're adding one. It's kind of hard to show you exactly like where it's located on the building on paper, but it's the same style sign. It's just on the side of a building. So if you look at like the site plan, the way that it is, it's on this far side, but when you're driving this way, you see it. So when
Actually,
you're heading,
David, I included a picture showing where the old sign was, where the new one's going.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to pull this one up on Google real quick.
yeah, it's a weird spot, so it's hard to kind of.
And it's actually on Florence.
Did I say Gilbert? I'm sorry.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Sorry. Oh yeah, there is that. I always forget there is that phototype one kind of off to the side. We're removing that one.
Yeah.
And putting it on the wall instead of on like the warehouse wall.
Gotcha. Okay, I see. And is it approximately the same size?
The one that we're installing is 55 square feet. So yeah, about the same size.
And the old sign was there in 2008.
Gotcha.
And that one had to go through, I'm assuming the same thing because it doesn't have street frontage either.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Okay.
And it's the same thing, halo, it's the same internal illuminated and everything. So all the signs will be universal. And there's a few more that already got approved that were on street frontage around here. I think they have 6 or 7 buildings in total that they're rebranding in the neighborhood.
Gotcha. Okay. Those they were able to do without variance. Really?
Yeah. The buildings face the street, so we could just do it as a street frontage one.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have any questions.
Yeah, they're all, like I said, they're all basically the same thing. They're pretty straightforward. We're just removing one, adding one, and then that one building, the one on Gilbert has 2.
Gotcha. Okay. Does anyone want to add anything else on these?
It is right that you have new rooftop units, right?
No, well,
We're good.
Okay. All right. Okay. Brooke, anything else in closing or otherwise?
Nope, unless you have any other questions, but I think
I don't think I do. I think these are pretty straightforward. So
Yeah.
I'm going to approve them.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure that, the fact that there's 4 shouldn't take me too much longer since they're all very similar. I'll be able to
Okay.
Use the same decision more or less for each of these. But for whatever reason, we're just getting stacked up right now with a bunch of different hearings, zoning relief hearings. And so particularly in the next couple of weeks, I just know I'm going to get slammed. I'll try to get these out as quickly as possible. Feel free to email me. I don't mind people emailing or
I have another one. I think I have another one with you on Monday.
Okay.
With
On
the
Monday?
historic commission. Are you on do you do the historic ones?
I'm the staff attorney. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll be I have one on Monday. So I'll see you then too.
Okay. Cool.
Is it okay? Do you think it's okay if we put the signs into production? To get that because they're taking like 6 to 8 weeks to get things produced. And so people are panicky a little. So.
Gotcha. So I can tell you from a zoning relief permission perspective that you won't be held up for anything involved with these hearings. Zoning, do you want to weigh in at all? I mean, is there any reason you would tell her to hold off on that?
So
No, I don't have anything unless it's something to do with the BPEs.
Yeah, normally once we get zoning approval, we can build the sign because building cares how we install it, not how it's made. So
Correct.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, great. And, okay, any other questions right now?
No, I'm good.
Okay, great, fantastic.
Good.
Well,
Do you have an extra
thanks
hour
for
and a half
your
of your day?
I will definitely have stuff to fill it with. So
Can we bump the one from 3 till now?
I wish.
Send somebody into a pure panic.
I wish. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll see you at 3.